I went on a date this week, of course. This was a really good date.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you want to share? Or are you nervous because of the text I sent you this morning?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So I had a dream last night that this is how bad this is. Now I'm having dreams about this podcast. I had a dream last night that Jen and I gotten into a big argument, which we don't do. We've never gotten into an argument since we've started doing this. And it was because she wanted to devote an entire episode all telling us all about a particular date she had. And I was like, Jen, that's not what our podcast is about. We can't do a whole episode about your date. And she got so mad at me.
When I got the text, I kind of felt like I was in the dream. I was like, yeah, why wouldn't you listen to me? The people want what the people want. I will not tell too much because it was actually a really good date. So I don't want to jinx anything. But
yeah,
we were talking about flights, and because I'm a United girl, and like,
yeah,
I don't care. You can meet me there.
Right.
You know, and he was like, I get that. Like, we were just talking about how it's like at this stage in life, it's like, I need to hit my status, and I could like I'll be fine for 4 hours without you. You know, I don't need to sit next to you. Oh my gosh. Can I tell you, that reminds me of a travel pet peeve.
Yeah, go for it.
So I'll do it, but I just kind of roll my eyes.
Are you clapping on the airplane when it lands?
I'm like, oh God, okay, I guess I'll do it because I'm a joiner. No, when a couple is not seated together, because who knows how I don't know how you book your flights, like without picking a seat, I guess. And they'll ask you to move for them.
Oh.
And I'm like, you're married, you know, like.
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to sit and talk? They don't. They sit next to each other and they watch a movie the whole 5 hours. Now, I'll do it as long as it's a window seat. You know, if it's like, oh, I have to move one row back.
Oh,
like,
right. You're getting the same type of seat. Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And even though it's a pet peeve, I'll do it because I'm nice. But I've had people try to ask me to switch to like a middle seat so that they could sit next to their partner. And I'm like, you can go fuck yourself. Like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, they could have paid the extra $30 for that seat or whatever.
Totally. And even if I'm like, let's say I'm dating an aisle guy. So when I was married, my ex-husband was an aisle guy because he was like 6'4", 6'3".
Yep.
And I sat in the middle. What a dumbass. And then, you know what I mean? And then the guy cheated on me and I'm divorced. And I sat in middle seats. So never again, if my next partner is an aisle guy, I will see him when we get there because I'm going to be by the window.
When my mom and I flew to Jamaica, we didn't sit by each other. We both just picked our own seats. Well, on the way down, we did sit by each other, but then on the way back, we didn't. And I don't remember. Oh, it's because I like sitting over the wing. I have anxiety about flying, and I have a very particular spot on the airplane that I like to sit. And it helps with my anxiety. And
I love that.
Yeah, she sat somewhere else, and that's fine.
Do you know why it helps? Is there a rational reason or not a rational reason for being over the wing?
I'm not 100% sure. I definitely like to be by the window so I can see. Otherwise, I feel very claustrophobic. And I think it's because reading a lot of stuff, they say there's typically less turbulence when you're in the middle because the ends kind of bounce around more. And if you're on the wing, it's a little bit more stable. Whether that's true or not, I don't know.
Yes. Interesting. I'll have to look next time I book a flight to see if United has little wingy things. Anyways, I don't pay attention to that. Usually when I book, I try to find an empty row and get a window. Mm-hmm. And then I'll check the night before to see how full the plane is. And if there's like an emptier row, I'll move.
Yeah.
Because the goal is always either a seat in the middle open or a whole row to yourself, which rarely happens nowadays, but when it does happen.
I got a whole row to myself going down to St. Vincent on both flights.
Oh, it's so great.
It's because I paid the extra like $30 or whatever for the priority row, and people don't want to pay that, which is great for me because I am willing to pay it. And then I got a whole row to myself.
Yeah. During COVID, I flew a lot and I'd have a whole cabin to myself. It was the closest I will ever get to a private jet.
So speaking of travel, we should talk about our trip.
Yes. We should, because people are buzzing about it, Megan.
People are buzzing about it. Yes, I'm super excited.
I am too.
We're starting to like see the interest and people are starting to inquire about booking and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's super exciting. Just reminding everybody that we do need final counts by, I believe it's like mid-August.
Yes.
To lock everything in. And the earlier you reach out to us, the better, because it's kind of hard to explain. And Jen and I decided that we're going to do like a mini bonus episode to talk about our trip and explain things a little bit more and like what we're going to do and about the resort and stuff. But there's multiple different room options. And so the earlier you reach out, the more likely you're going to be able to get the type of room that you want.
Yes.
This is not like a normal hotel that just has like a bunch of the same rooms.
That's good to know. I'm glad we're doing this bonus episode.
Yeah.
Also, I was out at the Food for Thought here. Cater in Chicago had a really fun party a couple of nights ago. And one of our fans was there and we were talking about the trip. And to clarify the price, which I don't know offhand, it's double occupancy. So what is it? I don't remember. Go to our website. You look. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that price is for 2 people. All inclusive. It's insane. Yes. Like, this is a really great price. Actually, when I like double checked that, I was like, oh, how is this not sold out already? This is insane.
So yeah, it'll be fun. And it's the Bahamas, it's Nassau, so the flights should be pretty easy. The price does not include your flight. So you do have to book your flight separately, but come on, people.
And what? Do I have to fly American probably?
You don't have to come with me. We can meet there.
No, I don't know if United has, like, usually when I tried to get to Curacao and United, it would have been like a huge hassle. So I'll probably fly American.
Yeah.
But speaking of trips, today's episode is about my trip to California.
Yes. I'm excited to hear about it. I have heard very little about this trip so far.
Yes, because I try to save everything for here. But yeah, the gist is I went to Sonoma County. So I was staying in Santa Rosa, California. And I was there to execute a bachelorette party for 10 people.
So chaperone.
Yeah. And I have never been so happy to be in my early 20s, because just being around that late, I think everyone was in their...
Wait, you just said never been so happy to be in your early 20s.
Early 40s.
To clarify, Jen is not in her early 20s.
Sorry. Oh, that's bizarre because my brain said 40s. Crazy. Okay.
Do you ever like walk past a mirror and see yourself and kind of do a double take because you think you should look like you're 20?
No, I do a double take because I'm like, damn, still got it. I have the confidence now that I should have had in my early 20s. Like, I was like, I'm fat and ugly. And now I'm like, God, I look so good. But anyways, yeah, I've never been so happy to be in my early 40s because it just reminded me how we were in our youth. And my God, how did we do it? How did we stay up so late? How did we drink so much? How did we like recover so quickly? Yeah. It was just like too much for me.
The recovering so quickly is insane to me.
It's insane. So my plan is to run you through my trip and then tell you some great stories and give you some tips along the way here.
Yes.
For this. So first of all, in my experience, I've been to Napa County and Sonoma County. And even on this trip, I bopped over to Napa just real quick because I wanted to get some oysters. But of the two, this is my personal opinion. Sonoma's more laid back and less hoity-toity, I guess was the word. You know what I mean? Okay. Napa feels more polished and a little bit more like, I don't know, stuffy. I can't wait till we record ourselves so people can see our facial expressions and Megan's arm gestures. So, okay, first of all, stayed in Santa Rosa. I stayed at a hotel called Hotel E.
Okay.
Hotel E. It was like right in what's called Courtyard Square. So I think perfect for solo travelers and maybe couples who don't care about something too bougie. It was very nice. Staff was so lovely. clean, small rooms. It was great. And for me, it was perfect. It was like 8 minutes from the house where the group was staying. And you can access all the little cities, little towns pretty easily. So I loved it. I got into town and I went the night before the group got in just to kind of like hang out and sleep. And then the next day I went into a little town called Healdsburg.
Okay.
Healdsburg? Who knows how you say it? One of the two.
Research is not Jen's strong point. Fact checking.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you work for Fox News?
Yeah, exactly.
No fact checking.
Nope. I put a reel up on Instagram about my trip. I put it on We Roam Solo if anybody wants to go check it out. And I used ChatGPT to make some sort of silly, post.
Yeah.
And it said something like Sonoma, greater than everything else. And then I showed all that I did. And I got some trolls. One was like, so drunk you didn't even realize you were in Healdsburg. And then one was like, Sonoma better than anything. But did you even get to Sonoma? So my reply was, LOL, I'm so sorry. I thought Sonoma was a whole ass county. My bad. Just like, people are such dicks. I just like to have the mindset of seeing something and wanting to just be a dick.
Right.
It's like, just go do something else.
They live very unhappy lives.
Very. They're clearly not bopping around Healdsburg or Healdsburg. Anyways. So, Megan.
Yes.
I had the best quiche of my life at this restaurant in Healdsburg. The best quiche of my life.
Okay.
And a restaurant called Little Saint, and it is a vegan restaurant.
Oh.
Do the math. Best quiche of my life.
That's
not a single egg in it.
That's not quiche.
It tasted just like quiche.
Okay, but you can't call it quiche if it's vegan.
Why? Is quiche French for egg?
I don't know, but quiche is French for quiche, and a quiche is made of egg. And
do we know
milk or cream.
Yeah. So anyways, they're calling it a quiche, and I'm buying it.
What was it made out of?
I have no clue. I didn't ask. But it was amazing. And everybody listening, look up Little Saint. If you're getting married or going to want to host a like killer birthday party or whatever, anniversary party, I'm planning it. Call me. It was the coolest venue.
Okay.
You need to look it up.
I will look it up. I have nothing against the vegan quiche.
Megan hates vegans.
No, I do not. Jen's going to create a clip that just says Megan hates vegans, and then that's going to go viral, and everybody's going to like hate me. But
yeah, and then people will ping you on Instagram and say mean things.
I just don't think it's a quiche, but okay, continue on.
It's amazingly gorgeous. I actually I asked nicely for the manager there to show me around because they had an upstairs space. And so he gave me a tour.
Nice.
It's so cool. It's just like so unique, so beautiful. You could use that space so easily for a wedding. Like, I think it'd be so cool. Okay. So I went there.
Very fun.
And then I just bopped around and then I ran errands. So I went to the liquor store and I bought $600 worth of booze. Went to the grocery store.
This is for the party, right?
This is for the bachelorette party.
Okay,
oh, yeah.
That's just clear.
Oh, yeah. Well, out there, $600 worth of booze could just be like 6 bottles of wine. So
that's true.
But it was not.
Yeah.
So I got a cartload of booze, went to the grocery store, 2 carts full of food.
Wow.
Megan.
Okay.
Yeah.
These girls need to eat.
Yes. So my tip here is don't forget to budget for these kinds of things. If you are doing something like this, like a 10-person, you're getting a house.
Yeah.
There are services that you can get where like just that, like people can go grocery shopping for you and go and like load everything up. But keep that in mind. It took me hours, right? Like it took me 4 hours to grocery shop to get the booze. I took it over to the house. I stocked everything. So a service that's totally worth it.
Yeah.
Because you're traveling in, it's like the last thing you want to be doing.
Yeah. You don't want to waste your 3-day trip with 4 hours in the grocery store.
No. And it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So that night I went on a date.
What?
I went on a date. I met what is it?
Sommelier?
I met a sommelier who lived in a van.
Okay, Jen.
Which I texted my friend who lives in New York who just moved from there, and she said that sounds pretty normal. And I was like, great. So the coolest thing happened, though. He picks me up, and he takes me to the vineyard that he works at, and it's closed. And we got to go in the back, and he like gave me a tour of the whole winery and told me how everything works. And then we got to tap the wine barrels that were aging. And I got to try wine that was like being made.
Did you at any point think you were going to be murdered?
Oh, no.
No?
No. I date so much and travel so much. Like, there's just no fear about it. I mean, I'm pretty safe. I've got a good read on people.
You dated somebody who lives in a van. Let him take you into some closed building.
Yeah, but it felt very safe.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was cool. It was such a cool experience.
You can tell I'm a mom.
Oh, God. I know.
What are you doing?
I'm living my best life. I mean, I've said this before. Dating while I travel, I've gotten to do some of the coolest things.
No, I believe you. I'm glad you weren't murdered.
Yeah, I mean, and what a way to go.
Drunk off wine and...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dead in a wine barrel room. Who cares? We're all going to go somehow. Anyways, and then he took me to dinner. We went to Bodega Bay, it's like maybe like 40 minutes from Santa Rosa.
Okay.
And it's the ocean. Like it's the, what do you call it? Like the beach?
Coast?
The coast. Thank you. So we went to this wharf and had oysters and some wine, and It was like a total local joint, which was really fun. So, highly recommend that. And then he returned me safely to I'm alive. He returned me safely to my hotel.
Did he pick you up in the van that he lived in?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was very cool. I dated a guy for a while after after I got divorced who lived in, he lived in a house, but he built out a van and he like camped in it, and it was so cool.
See, I think that what I'm envisioning for this van is very different than what the van actually looks like.
Oh, yeah. It's not like a torture.
Yeah, I'm envisioning a like rape van, like the dark windows, the back opens up.
Yeah. No. So they're like, actually my friend, she lives in a van. She also built out a van. They're like utility vans.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
It was stunning. Like there's a kitchen, there's a bed, there's like a little area where you sit and eat.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
It's more like a camper.
Yes. Okay. I think though people who are not you, who is like a mom, when we say that now, they know what we mean.
Okay.
Like, oh, he lives in a van. Like people know what that means.
No, I think of like he lives in a van down by the river, like, and he's just crawling into the back of his van from his seat.
Right. And I'd say most people know that it's like a built out camper, but in like a van. Maybe not.
Well, here's the thing. People, you know why they call it a van? Because van life is like all cool, right? If you say like, oh, van life, it's a fucking camper, people. It's a camper. They just don't want to use the word camper because you say camper and you think of your Aunt Rose who like goes around and takes her kids to Mount Rushmore.
It is a camper.
It's a camper.
It is. What do you drive? Do you have a minivan?
No.
Okay, thank God. Okay. Yeah, so he lives in a camper that he built out. So I'm impressed by that kind of stuff because to me it symbolizes the ultimate lifestyle, freedom.
Yeah.
You can like pick up and go anywhere you want. It's like so like one day. Yeah. One day. But I'd still also have a home because I like a shower. So that was it. He asked me out the next day. I said no.
Yep.
Because I felt like it was just, that was good.
Yeah.
And I was busy the rest of the time. So now I'm going to get into the juicy stuff.
Yeah.
So the next day, I'm with the group, the bachelorettes, the bachelorette and her crew for the whole day. Mm-hmm. Things started out awesome. So we went to a place called Gunlock Bun Shoe.
Okay.
But probably that's not how you say it. But you say it Gun Bun for short.
Okay.
It's in Sonoma. very cool tasting experience. We had the private tasting room. So got back there. We started sampling wines. Afterwards, we took some pictures. The grounds are beautiful. Everything's like, we're having so much fun. And here's my first tip. So when you're booking these things, when you're booking like a day of tastings, first of all, not every place out there takes groups.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to make sure you're aware of that. If you're from the Midwest, you probably think you can drink a lot. And you probably can because, you know, but this is going to be a lot of wine.
Yeah.
And I think it's misleading a bit because it's all just like little samples.
Yep.
Now there's always the bucket that you could spit it into, but nobody does that.
Right.
Okay. And because nobody is there to actually taste the fucking wine. Like they want it to be good while they're drinking it, but nobody's like, you know what? That tastes like cherries and lemon or whatever.
Yeah.
So 2 to 3 places is all you need. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I know that is because we went to 4. We hired a van. So we had a 13-person van, not one built out to live in.
I was going to say, was it your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Did he drive you around?
Everybody lay down on the bed in the back. So, you know, it was great. Picked us up at the house. We go to this first tasting. Everyone's having a great time. Then we go to have lunch.
Uh-huh.
And went to this great restaurant called Bloom Carnarios, I think. And that was very cool. Highly recommend. The food was amazing. I did not sit with the group. So I was by the bar, minding my own business, not realizing that they were doing a tasting at the restaurant too. Like I when we booked it, I thought it was just like lunch with like maybe a glass of wine.
Sure.
I later found out that it was a full-on tasting. So now this is the second tasting, and I am under the impression we've only been to one because I am not paying attention to what's going on.
Because if you remember, Jen is working. She's not actually like with the group as Okay.
And this was a Friday, so I actually I felt like you. I had my computer. I sat at the bar. I worked.
Yeah.
All the kids were having fun.
Yep.
And so then we get to the third vineyard, which was everybody's favorite. And I will say this right. It's called San Giacomo.
Okay.
Okay.
When you said, I will say this right, I thought you were going to say Josh Sellers, something really basic.
Yeah. Kim Crawford. I think, is that New Zealand? I have no idea. So anyway, San Giacomo was so fun that they did sipping. They did the tasting out in the vineyard. So there was a table set up under a little canopy. And that's when I started to realize how drunk everybody was.
Okay.
This group is hilarious though. So you don't mind that they're drunk because they're still very nice and they're hilarious. So the driver and I were kind of not hanging out with them at this one, but we came down towards the end and everybody was having a good time. And it was on the way to the last winery that I was starting to get a little worried.
Uh-oh.
And it's a weird place to be in. But again, I'm glad they had me. I'm glad that they had a planner.
Yep.
Because I don't know what would have happened if they didn't.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And so I don't even think I'm going to say where we went because I'm not. But it was great. So if you want to DM me, I'll tell you privately where we went. But we got there. And at most tastings, they'll welcome you with a glass of wine or a little sip tasting of wine. And we did that. And I was moving the group to the outside area where they were going to sit for the tasting. And the woman who was managing the winery came up to me and said that they could no longer serve the bride.
Oh, boy. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Now, 2 bottles of wine had already been sent out there.
Uh-huh.
And so I took the corks and I, had to cork them and be like, okay, everybody, we're going to take these bottles home with us.
Yeah.
Because, why don't we just have some food and hang out and then, whatever.
Yeah.
I later found out that while I was doing that, one of the attendees was throwing up in the bathroom.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And while that was happening, the bride face planted, like legit face planted. Almost hit her head on a table. And that's when I was like, everybody on the bus. You know what I mean? Like, we're leaving. But I tried to keep it like, I don't think the vibes here are great, guys.
Yeah.
Why don't we go back to the house? You can hang out by the pool and like drink there and hopefully not drown.
Were they getting mad at you?
No, I think that the vibes were not good. I think that they were, I think everybody was picking up on what was going on.
Okay.
So thankfully we got everybody onto the shuttle.
Yep.
Then we had to make sure that everybody stayed seated on the drive home. People kept standing up, trying to dance. So we started saying, sitting down is sexy to encourage the behavior we needed them to do. But needless to say, the bride still fell and then hit the driver on the head with her water bottle. Yeah, it was.
Oh my gosh.
It was horrible.
Was the driver pissed?
Yes. He was a really chill guy. So I texted my contact, like who I'd been working with while we were on that bus. And I was like, do you have cash? And they did. And I was like, great. So we ended up giving the driver, like the driver already had a gratuity included. And we ended up giving him another $250.
Yeah.
So my next tip is bring cash. Because if you notice that someone in your group is starting to like kill the vibe somewhere or might hit your driver in the head with a water bottle, it's just like a really nice way to smooth things over.
Yes.
So also after that day, when my date from the night before asked if I wanted to see him again, I was like, no, absolutely not. I want to be by myself.
Right. That's a lot.
It was too much.
And so what did they do when they got back to the house? Did they all go to sleep?
Well, so they had dinner reservations that night.
Okay.
We got back to the house at 5, I think. They had dinner reservations at 7:30. I left. I was like, and they were going to go dancing after.
Oh my gosh.
I had done research for them. Okay, here's another tip. If you want a dance party, a bachelorette party, Sonoma's not where you go. Like, this is not like, there's no clubs.
Right.
Dancing is honestly like, yeah, there might be a DJ playing like 90s music but it's not like a party place.
Right.
Also, something to keep in mind when you're booking these homes, most of these homes that these 5-bedroom, 6-bedroom homes are in neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
So there are curfews. You cannot be outside past 9 o'clock. Like you can't have music outside. So all these things that I think to us is common knowledge, but like might not be.
Right.
Like I think sometimes there's this vision of this house in the middle of nowhere and, in the vineyard where you like, that's not what is happening.
It's not Nashville.
It's not. No, it is not. So if you want just a crazy drunk-filled dance party, there's Nashville, there's Vegas, there's New Orleans, there's Chicago, there's like literally any city in the U.S.
Right.
So just something to keep in mind.
Yep.
But they made it to dinner.
Wow. Everybody?
Everybody made it to dinner. And they went dancing after, or like they went to the bar that I found that like has quote unquote dancing. And they were out till like midnight. I don't know how.
That's incredible. Yeah.
I asked if they were doing drugs and they said no. And I was like, God, okay. So they made it. So then that night I left them at 5 and I just went, so in Santa Rosa, there's this like brewery called Cooperage Brewery. Mm-hmm. And I just went there and it was great. It's very cool, very chill. I didn't want to look at a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to like smell wine. I wasn't drinking, but I just, after what I witnessed, I was like, I'll have a beer, please.
It's too much. Yeah.
It was too much. Much too much. So then Saturday I got up and I hit the ground. So I went like my whole point of, I'm there to execute the bachelorette party, but like I also want to do more of those types of things out there. So I bounced around. I hit Sebastian. Sebastian. I did look this up before we recorded to see how you say it, and I don't remember. Sebastopol. There is just really cute coffee shops. There is this place called the Barlow there.
Okay.
That is so cool. It's like a market. There's restaurants, there's breweries, there's wineries. It's just like this, an ice cream place, like all in one area.
Cool.
Great for kids or not.
Yeah.
So like a great spot for families. If you're there with kids, they can like run around. There's no cars driving around in the area. They can get lost. Nobody cares. So that was cool. And then I went to a little town called Calistoga.
Okay.
Calistoga is adorable. I like that I always compare everything to Lake Geneva. It's like the Lake. It's probably like the Door County of Wisconsin.
Okay.
Does that help? It's like cute shops, like one little hotel.
A little touristy.
Totally touristy.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole area where it's old train cars that you eat inside.
Sure.
But like it's cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Really, really, really cute, beautiful scenery. Like there's mountains and stuff, and it's stunning. So I spent the day doing that because I just wanted to like get a taste of as much as I could out there. And then I went back to the house where we had a private chef come. So we had a chef and a sommelier come in and did a dinner at the house.
So they had the day to recover at the house.
Yes.
They just chilled.
Yes. I don't know if they recovered or chilled, but they were at the house as far as I was concerned. That's all I need to know. Everyone was still alive.
Yes.
And that was great. I mean, I talked about how I did that in Hawaii. It is such a cool experience and a way to enjoy the house. Like you spend a lot of money to stay in a property like this, and it has a pool and like a beautiful patio with a table for 10. Like do it if you can. Like it was so fun.
Yeah.
And then everybody had flights, you have to check out at 10 a.m. on Sunday. So that's the other thing. If you're going for a weekend, do not do your wine tastings on Saturday. Do them on Friday.
Right.
And I would say if you want to hit more than 2 to 3 wineries, then you need to go in a day early. Like you need to go in Wednesday and split it up and do 2 and 2. Just don't do 4 in one day.
Yeah, I think people have a vision of like, oh, we're going out to Sonoma or Napa and doing wine tastings, and they just think they're going to be on a bus all day and hit like 8 places.
Yeah. You're on a bus all day and we hit 4.
Right.
And we didn't need to. So just things to think about.
Mm-hmm.
I learned a lot planning this, and I would definitely do it a little different next time. But it went well. I mean, everyone was very happy. Everyone's alive.
Yes. And
I'm sure these vineyards have a lot of wine club members now because who knows what was happening, on when I wasn't looking. So I do want to call out one vineyard that I went to by myself, and that's called Iron Horse. It's known for their sparkling wine, actually, which I did. My roommate, Rachel, told me to go here. Okay. And it's awesome. Very chill. The views are insane. And this vineyard's been around since the 70s. They actually they're the suppliers for like all the presidential inaugurations. Okay. When they do a rainbow sparkling every year. For Pride Month. Okay. And when Obama signed the legislature to make gay marriage legal, they supplied all the rainbow sparkling for the party for that. Mm-hmm. It's just very cool.
Yeah. And it was good?
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
I bought a bottle. I bought a $75 bottle of sparkling rosé.
Nice.
Because I had been sampling it. And of course, you're like, that sounds reasonable.
Well, I've been out to Sonoma. Jared and I went for our, 10-year anniversary or something. I don't remember. Maybe it was 5. But you go to these, little wineries and you do the tasting, and it's a weird dynamic, I will say, because you're there because, like you said, you just want the fun of the wine tasting. Very few people are there to really get into tasting the wine and ordering tons of wine and all that stuff. I'm sure there are some people, but that wasn't us. We were just there to have fun, right?
Yeah.
But the people who are working there, their job is to sell you the wine and to sign you up. So it's like this weird dynamic, like they know we're not really going to buy a lot of wine, but they still have to like try to sell it to you. We got sick of the salesiness by the end.
Interesting.
We were just kind of over it. When it's only two of you, it's very different than when you're with like a party group.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't find, at least the places I went, I did not hear any sales pitches. And even where I was by myself, she never, I mean, it's out there, like the pricing and their club pricing and stuff like that. But yeah, I didn't feel that.
Maybe Jared and I look like suckers.
Or maybe you're wrong. I mean, maybe more people do that than we think, and you looked like a couple that do that.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I do think that, like, you learn a lot. For example, the wines that we have access to that's like mass produced from Sonoma or Napa or from California, it's mass produced.
Yeah.
It's not ever going to be as good as these small vineyards because there's a limited supply. You make it and that's it. So I think for people who really, I don't order California wine off menus here because it's not my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But out there, I mean, even I'm not a Chardonnay drinker, but California Chardonnay out there, love it. So I do think it's an education for sure.
Definitely.
You know, and the ones we went to are family run, quote unquote, small businesses. So the wine is good. You're like, oh, wow, holy hell.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you learn a lot about the production. One of my friends lives out there and they just started a label actually after her family has had a vineyard for 2 generations. They supply most of their grapes to Coppola, actually.
Okay.
But you learn about it's all shady stuff, not on their part, but like the big labels, they wait to buy the grapes till they're just beginning to shrivel because then they weigh less. Then they add water to the wine. So you learn why these small label wines just are so good.
Yeah.
Because it's they care.
It's just like anything.
But if a big label wants to sponsor us, I'll take that all back. I can be bought.
Maybe the next time one of us goes to a winery.
Yeah.
Or even a brewery. I'll throw that out. If a winery or a brewery is listening to this and they want to bring Jen and I on, we could do a podcast while we're doing the tasting. So we could be talking about the wine or beer and podcasting about it. Talk about not being relevant at all to our podcast.
Yeah. Oh, I can't do a whole episode about my date, but we can do a whole episode. Yeah, hell yeah, that makes sense. That's fine. No, I think it's it is relevant, quite honestly. I mean, I'm sure you do too. Our couples care about the wine that's being served at their wedding.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'm working around wine lists with my clients to figure it out. So I think it is relevant. So I think we should do that.
Yeah. There we go.
So I'll wrap up my thoughts. I had a car. I recommend having a car if you want to bop around. I do not recommend having a car that you're driving if you're doing wine tastings. Definitely rent a car. Obviously, we had a van, but there are car services, driving services. Actually, one time when I was out in California, we took a limo from San Francisco to Napa for the day. So definitely invest in staying safe.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to be drinking a lot. So you just want to be careful there.
Yeah.
When you think of Sonoma, like I said, it's really yes, there is a Sonoma proper, but it's a bunch of cute little towns. So definitely do your research and make sure you get to see as much as you can. There's a lot of hikes, since I didn't get to do that this time, but big place for hikes and a lot of nature stuff. I did try to get my group to go on a hike and they laughed at me. So it just depends on who you're with, but happy to help you plan. It is certainly, of course, valuable to work with somebody who knows the area and can help let you know what vibe would fit you and help you create an itinerary. So I'd love to do that for solo travelers or honeymooners or groups. I really love the area. I highly recommend it.
And if you're a honeymooner, Jen does not have to come with.
Unless you want me to. I can drive you around.
She's now advertising herself as the third.
Exactly. A throuple, At one point, I did run to Walgreens in the middle of the tour to pick up a prescription for one of the attendees. So I really do it all. I love to be needed, is what I'm saying. Any questions, Megan? You got any questions for me?
What is your next trip that you're going on? Remind me. Miami, did you say?
Oh, yeah, but I don't really count Miami because it'll be from work, like pretty much all work. But my next trip so far isn't until August. I'll be in New York for a week.
Okay, so we have to talk about weddings for a while.
We do have to talk about weddings for a while, yeah.
Well, we've got some fun guests coming up and everything.
We do. Oh, okay. You guys remember when we like a couple of weeks ago, we were like, we're gonna have a really great guest coming on, and then we were like, just kidding, because they couldn't come on the get. We've rescheduled. We're talking to them in May. Very excited about it.
So stay tuned.
Yeah. Yeah. But we have a lot of other fun guests coming on. We're really excited.
Yeah. And reach out to us if you want to be a guest. We'll consider it.
Yeah. We'll put you on the list, the waiting list. And if you have any questions about our trip, again, there's like 6 different ways you can find us on Instagram. But the Planner's Passport is the easiest one to find.
Yes.
Or and in that one too, we have the link with information for the trip.
Yes.
But come, I'm so excited about it now. It's going to be I was excited all the time, but now that people are booking, it's like, like, wow.
You start to see it fill out a little bit.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, have fun in Hawaii. We'll hear about that in a couple of weeks and we'll talk soon.
Okay. Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks so much for joining us again this week. If you have a wedding or travel-related story of your own that you would like us to share in a future episode, send us an email to theplannerspassport@gmail.com.
And be sure to follow us on Instagram at The Planner's Passport and follow all of our travel and wedding businesses, including We Roam Solo, Dare to Dream Travel, and Dare to Dream Weddings. And please, if you enjoy our show, remember to rate, review, and subscribe from wherever you are listening to this podcast.